Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to start by first asking you that if you're watching this video and you've not yet subscribed, I want to humbly request you that please take a second and click the subscription button and then the notification bell so that when we publish a video, when I publish my videos, you'll be in a position to get notifications and you will not miss a single video. I want us to revisit Eric Omondi's arrest earlier on Tuesday, the Tuesday arrest of Eric Omondi along the Parliament Road. I checked because for me, I'm normally so keen on what Kenyans are saying. I don't like mostly doing it just what I think. And one thing that has come out is the Kenyans are questioning the manner in which Eric Omondi was handled. Or better still, is there a specific way on how someone should be handled in a protest or so? But people are asking why an armed civilian will be handled in that manner. And again, what is the message? Because that is not the first protest going on. Yesterday, there's a protest by some group from Mathare. There have also been some, even Nairobi City Market traders also had a protest. But the demonstration that was staged by Eric Omondi was coming a day ahead of the Jeevanjee IEBC themed prayers. So all optics, all the lenses were there because people are trying to look at it in terms of what message or how government is going to handle these protests. So this is where it started. When Eric Omondi came in around that road, they walked there in their numbers with bare-chested men and putting on the black shorts. They were singing Bado Mapambano, carrying those placards about the inflation or how prices of goods are up is up, the soaring prices of goods, and also the issues of taxation. Kwamba tax yetu iko juu. And from analytical perspective, that was a mobilized group. It was a very well-organized protest. So when they came, and I know that is what I saw Millicent Omanga referring to it, because Eric Omondi is in the picture and is a figure who's been in the headlines for controversy in terms when talking about many other things. It could have been seen as just one of those comedies, but it's not, or rather it was not as how it even turned out. So when they came there, they stood, first they were sitting along the road, in the road, and there police went, or rather the head of traffic there went, and was asking them to leave the space because they were already causing traffic snarl up along the road. And that there was that diplomacy talk between the protesters and the police, something I normally know. I've covered protests, and one thing I can tell you here is police normally try sort of many ways of talking to the people, talking you down, talking you out of that protest, and when it fails, then the second they now can start applying for. So Eric Omondi had a point, and they said, we want audience with the speaker, the deputy speaker, or a senator, or any politician who is in there. But wakasema kama wanaenda kuitwa. But Eric was saying that if we leave the road, the politicians will not hear. But when we cause some sort of commotion along the road, it will attract their attention and maybe they'll come. But perhaps the officers were so keen because they knew as much as Eric is looking for the attention of the politicians, but it's also attracting attention of the public. apart from the said politician. So it didn't work by then, and someone said to have gone to the chambers. Remember, by this time, the chambers, the sessions, both two sessions were going on. I confirmed over the weekend Speaker Wetangula was in Algeria. I don't know if he was back. But in the Senate, the person who was spearheading was the Meru senator, or rather the deputy speaker of the Senate. So they could not get that audience. But there was an understanding that a section of Azimio legislators were coming out of the chambers to address that team, or rather maybe to talk to them, or rather maybe add their voice into it. Now, it is at that moment that it's understood, the officers realized that the more these guys are going to stay in the road, and the political team will come maybe to address them, one, they will be more charged. Number two, with the MPs or the legislators around it, it will be very complicated even to handle the whole thing, because remember, they also have their own securities, and okay, it will not be, you cannot then, if you are to arrest, will you arrest MPs with the other civilians? So it will be difficult. So that's why when they were leaving the chambers, some of the legislators were leaving the chambers, after making perhaps their submissions, these guys were bungled in the police car, arrested and driven to the central police station. So what actually the officers were trying to evade is a situation where the political class will join, and also attracting the attention of the public. Remember, when these things were going on, already it was trending in social media, so even those who were in the National Assembly, they were well informed of what was going on. That's why you even hear Ledemo Lakina was talking about it. Now, they were demanding either of that, and now it's understood that even at the police station, they've been denied police bail, and they're supposed to be arraigned in court, I think tomorrow. As to what I was confirmed, latest videos that some of the online journalists who are there were saying that he was still in jail, or rather he was still in custody. Is going to be processed in court tomorrow. So all of them have been arrested. All of those gentlemen there who were bare-chested, including Eric Omondi. So there are some few questions that have been coming out on how the officers handled, because the manner in which they were arrested, or rather Eric, I think even now Eric, angered a section of Kenyans who are then asking why an armed civilian would be handled that way. The other thing, as remember, tomorrow Azimio and Omondi have called a meeting in Jeevanjee, which is on prayers. It is within CBD, and of course it can cause traffic problems. Remember, it is the same premise why Eric and the team were actually ejected out of the Parliament Road. Now, I have seen this story of trying to storm Parliament building. I don't know, to storm Parliament gate. I don't think it's neither here nor there, because the police were all over there. Ile namba ilikuwa watu kidogo, watu wachache sana. So I don't think attempting to storm Parliament is why they were chased. No, they were actually arrested. And if you follow those clips, even I think the officers, the conversation between the protesters and the officers were that nyinyi mnaharibu sasa kazi yangu kwa sababu mnaleta traffic. That was the reason. So the discussion about the Parliament, I don't think it's it. So what do you think was the messaging here? Why that group was handled that way? There was a very clear way, because they even knew, even state know very well that cameras are looking at it. Even those who are attending Raila's rallies and Raila supporters, those who are also planning to attend Jeevanjee are also looking at it, and they are picking a lot of observations from it. So it was not just done for the sake of handling Eric Omondi, and it was done It was just done with a very clear plan to ensure that they communicate something to the public. As to whether they get it or not, it's not there. I want to say this. Arrests are normally very emotional and will charge the masses. I am not from intelligence, but wakati umeshika watu, I look at some reactions on social media saying that now that you guys have arrested Eric Omondi, now all of us, if we join, are you going to arrest all of us? So the notion that will go to the masses that the officers want to arrest us is very wrong, because people will just be daring. They will go. Actually, it will charge the masses to go. So if I was the person who was handling the Eric Omondi demonstration, I would take it very easy. And I agree with those who are saying that these guys were not, their threat profile was not high. You'll still throw in the tear gas, disperse, na kila mtu akimbie na waende, na story ishe. Or then just disperse them and ends there. But then, they're arrested in full glare of the cameras and no one really cares, and the way police sometimes don't really fear the camera. So the arrests are emotional. Now, the masses are also feeling, because this is it. What Eric Omondi messaging was on the cost of living. And then he's been arrested lobbying for that. Even people back at home and those who are looking at the videos on social media are also looking at it that way. I'm going to arrest all of us. That's the question. The other observation I'm making, and I see a message that maybe can come out of this from the William Ruto wing, is Eric Omondi was going through that, and I think even those who gave the orders then for it to be executed, for the operation to be executed, for them to be arrested, was a scary strategy. Number one, if you try, we'll arrest you. 3, number 2, we'll take you to court, you will not be bailed. That's it. So as to whether it can send shivers on the other side, or those who are yet to attend Jeevanjee, it's a matter of wait and see. Now, the question of disrupting traffic or city order in the city will actually bring confrontation. I'm talking about this in the context to Jeevanjee. Tomorrow Rally team are supposed to go to Jeevanjee. They have been deemed as prayers. Now, Jeevanjee is the CBD. Eric was being manhandled along the Parliament Road because of the same premise of traffic. So, are they also sending a message to Azimio team that yes, you can go to Jeevanjee, but when you interfere with the traffic, this is how we're going to handle it? It's something that I'm just trying to draw from Eric Omondi. Now, Ruto, I also see a possibility that Ruto is rattled by the increasing protests, even though they've been a bit dismissive. In fact, the problem here is, the problem we have in this country is we have political kingdom that is close to the sun. There's something called you've reached. So you don't want to hear what other person is saying. And it's a very wrong precedence. Illustration, hatutaki kusikia, we have the plan, we are moving on with it. Don't tell us, we've been told that don't tell us what government should do. Nyinyi mlifanya mambo haikuwa, there've been all that, much of that dismissiveness. So that dismissal of the public, to some extent, has also showed ignorance, that we don't care. You dismiss on political ground that, okay, anataka handshake, or anataka hii, and I wonder, what does the cost of living have to do with the handshake? You dismiss it on the political altar, but again to the population, you also project some perception of people who don't care about what's happening in the population. Ladies and gentlemen, those who are going to Jeevanjee tomorrow, I don't know whether I'll go. Yes, we're going to Jeevanjee. Let's wait and see what happens.